Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to our webinar. Joanne Kim is the Director of Sales for the Seoul Grand Hyatt Hotel. As I already mentioned to you, I put everybody on mute, but just a couple things. I see most of you have already done this. Please change your ID as your name, student ID. Some of you just have your name, some of you have your ID. So can you put both, please? Because at the end, I'm going to take screenshots so I can hold on. Okay, good. Oh, good. We're at 40 students. That's good. A couple more are kind of coming in. So as I said during class, you can turn off the video if you would like during the presentation, but I ask you to turn it back on towards the end, or you can leave it on. A few people had asked me about that. I've muted all of you except for Joanne and I. Joanne, whenever you're ready and you'd like to start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. As Dr. Brennan introduced, this is Joanne. I think this is the third time I'm just having an opportunity to meet a person from INHA, but each and every time I have this opportunity, I feel a bit nervous because this is totally different environment. And then I just talked to him a few minutes ago because this is a really unique experience because giving a kind of like experience, through Zoom, like virtual thing, is something we started during COVID. Even not only in a school, even like in a real society, when it comes to working during COVID, seriously, we activated webinar, conference, meeting, and things like that. So we are actually used to it. But somehow, still, I'm quite nervous because I feel more comfortable to have a meeting with the clients or like a meeting with my partner, but like this is a kind of like a, in a way, one-man show. I have to say something, sharing experience to you people. So at the end of the session, I probably just gonna have some time to receive a few questions from you. So hopefully I'm gonna get like a few questions from you after my sharing experience. So hopefully I can make this session to be useful and effective as much as possible. That's what I would like to do. I have been this industry. Actually, industry itself is really, how can I say, it's really just in a big meaning. So industry means the tourism industry. The tourism industry includes not only hotel, like person like me who's working in hotel, but like travel agencies, online booking channels, even airline. There are a lot of actually like things that are part of the tourism industry. So in that part, I've been in industry almost for 20 years. I think after this year, yeah, I'm gonna complete 20 years actually. So I have one quick question. Doesn't matter whether you just respond to me or not, totally up to you. But I'm very happy to see today I have almost 40 people who are joining this session, which is pretty much a lot more than expected. But
44.
44, great, actually.
Oh, and also, Joanne, I said I just messaged everybody. If anybody has a question during Joanne's presentation, please directly
Uh-huh.
message me and I'll ask
Oh
during
yeah,
the
yeah,
end.
that's great. That's great. So out of 44, I'm just like simply wondering how many of you are interested in working in this tourism industry? I'm not talking about the hotels or whatever, things like that. As I told you, tourism industry is really, like a big meaning. So including, as I told you, airline, booking.com or Expedia, online channels, and then hotels, travel agency, like Hana Tour, Motor Tour, all these kind of like things are part of tourism industry. So I would like to ask you, how many of you among 44 are actually interested in working in this industry? Oh, there is. Good. At least there is. Oh, okay. There are a lot more. That's very good. Then, wow, quite, yeah, many. Okay. Then you think about it. You just raised your hands, right? So, out of, those people, so among you, how many of you are actually interested in working in hotel industry? Is there anyone who's thinking about, I would like to work in hotel? Oh, there is. That's great. You guys are a lot better than me because actually I entered this hotel industry at the age of 29. So a lot, like older than what you are, right? Because I'm not sure about, like your ages, but if I'm not mistaken, your age range is probably between early 20 and mid 20. That's what I'm thinking. But my major in university has nothing to do with tourism. My major in university from the college was actually the German language. So I don't know why I just choose that German languages, but that time I didn't really pay attention because the only purpose of, like choosing the major was to go into the university. But after that, I was working in 20s. I just worked, how can I say, I just worked in an industry which has nothing to do with the tourism industry. But during 20s, I don't know whether Dr. Brennan remembers and he maybe knows about that. Maybe your parents might know about that. When I was 20, I cannot recall the exact age. There was actually soap opera, like a TV series, talking about hoteliers' life. So I was really fancy. I was really just into that TV series, and then without knowing what is a hotelier, I just started dreaming about being a hotelier. That was it. But in 20s, I couldn't really find how can I just enter hotel industry. So I used to work in trading company and then some other, like just kind of ordinary companies. That's what I spent. So as I just asked you, because whether there are any people who are actually interested in working in hotel industry, tourism industry, you already raised your hand. I mean, that's very impressive because if someone would ask me what I would like to do when I was 20s, frankly speaking, I wouldn't really just answer right away because there are a lot of things I would like to do. There are a lot of things I was interested in, but I couldn't really say it what I really want to do when I was 20s. Seriously, I just had a lot of things I want to do. And then when I just look at this, I want to do this. When I look at B, I want to do this. So that's actually like who I was when I was 20s. Somehow I spent, like my 20s doing kind of working, which have nothing to do with the hotel industry. But when I just, like was about to reach almost 30, like 29, I decided I actually had a major decision. So I just left for Dubai in year 2005, actually. 2004, yeah, 2005, yeah, beginning of 2005. So that was actually quite tricky year because 2005, Dubai was not really known by Korean people. Probably you cannot imagine right now. Everyone knows about what Dubai is, United Arab Emirates. But back in 2009, when you just try to search things, like some information from Naver, you couldn't find any information other than kind of like Saddam Hussein, some kind of violent information. But somehow I made a really, how can I say, critical decision in my life. And then I left for Dubai. And then that's how I started working in hotel industry as a really just like a bottom line, from the bottom line. Because that time, how can I say, there was there was not that many Korean people who are working in hotel industry in Dubai. So I was trying to find out whether there is any opportunity. So Dubai was kind of like a case I just chose. So I just wanted to tell you when I started this hotel industry because I'm here, facing you guys and then trying to share experience. Kind of like I'm, like look like a lot better person than you. No, I'm not like that. And then, but here is just I look like I'm a lot better than you, and then I'm a lot more experienced than you, and trying to give you some experience, but physically try to like how can I say apple to apple comparison when I just try to recall back to the age you are. So I was not really just certain about what I would like to do. So I just wanted to tell you about that. So even if I'm here today to share my experience from the hotel industry, but I started as my career this hotel industry, hoteliers at the age of 29. So guys, even if you don't have anything concrete you'd like to do at this moment, no worries about that. I just, like a hope after this session, hopefully after my session today, if I can give you any kind of like additional information about the industry, I think that's more than enough, frankly speaking. You don't need to be a hotelier. You don't need to be paying attention about hotel industry, tourism industry. But as long as you'd like to know and then you become to know a bit more about this industry, then I think I'm more than happy about this session. So I told Dr. Brennan, I'm not a professional lecturer. I'm not doing this kind of things. So today, based on my experience, based on what I've learned, based on what I've felt from my ears, I'm gonna try to share what is about hotel industry, what is actual life in hotel. So in between or after the session, as Dr. Brennan said, in case you have any kind of a question, there's no question you cannot ask. Okay, so any question is, like a possible. So let's just throw the question through Dr. Brennan, and then let me try my best, like to give you an answer as much as I can, and then try to control time management, to make as efficient as possible. So I prepared, like a simple PowerPoint. Let me just open that one. Just one second. Here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I'm sure you can see this PowerPoint, right? This presentation. Yeah, I believe so. So this is actually just the beginning of the page. Let me just go back to the index. So these are kind of like a simple agenda I would like to cover today. So type of hotel, hotel department, hotel positioning, and threats and challenges, kind of that. Oh, additionally, let me just introduce about myself a little bit more. As Dr. Brennan said, I'm currently working, I'm just like a part of sales and marketing. I'm in charge of sales, director of sales. And then one additional tips is I feel very grateful. In December, actually, I'm gonna move to Hyatt overseas. So probably this is going to be my last session in Korea towards students while I'm based in Korea. Of course, I might be back. I'll definitely going back to Korea one day, but that's why I think today's session is quite meaningful to me as well. So, okay. Uh, I'm sure this day, compared to like the olden days, this day, I'm sure each and every one of you definitely know about the hotel. But when I was really, really young, I'm not talking about even 20s, when I was really, really young, I never ever thought about the staying in a hotel. Kind of a hotel is something really beyond my imagination, and then something really I cannot really, touch. So something only like a minority of people can enjoy. But these days, hotel is kind of like really everywhere. So it doesn't really need to be, like you have a plenty of money or whatever, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. Sometimes, for kind of like celebrating your special day or family gathering, based on, like so many kinds of purpose, you can make occasion to stay in a hotel. So hotel types of hotel is really various. So there are a lot of criteria you can just talk about, like what hotel. So first thing is like simply saying you can just, categorize by size or a number of rooms. For example, like there are hotels, certain hotels, like less than 100 guest rooms. And then, for example, like Conrad Hotel and then the Four Seasons Hotel. I'm sure you know all these hotels, right? So these hotels are between 200 and 400. And then Grand Hyatt Seoul, where it's located in Namsan, that has actually 615, 615 guest room, which is quite a lot. So that range is actually between 400 and 700. And then certain hotel even has, like over 700. For example, like Grand Hyatt Incheon, there is, like a Hyatt Incheon near the airport. That hotel has almost 1,000 guest rooms. So based on this one, we can also just categorize about the hotel's criteria. And then target markets. I think this is very easy. Target market is like, I just, like write down here, business hotel, airport hotels, and blah, blah, blah. But this actually is really, really self-explanatory. It's very, like easy. And then I'm sure, like it's easy for you to understand. So business hotel is kind of like, for simply saying, a business traveler. For example, like you work in a hotel, sorry, when you just work in a certain company and then you have to just go for business trip in certain country. So physically you don't have a time to enjoy, for example, like a beach area and then swimming pool. Yes, you might enjoy maybe early in the morning and then late night, but most of the times you do not have enough time, leisure time. You cannot enjoy your own leisure time. So business hotel is very much focused on guest rooms and maybe breakfast and sometimes a conference room and meeting room, kind of that. Airport hotel, it's very easy to understand, isn't it? Airport hotel is hotels nearby airport. Normally for people who needs lodging, subject to their flight times. For example, like their flight time is early in the morning, sometimes very late night. So like they are not able to facilitate like proper public transportation. Then they would like to stay at the hotel near the airport. So that's gonna be more confident. And then luxury suite hotel. And then serviced apartment. Serviced apartment is like a so-called residence. Let's just say in Seoul, maybe in Gangnam, Oakwood Premier, and then Orakai, kind of residence, as it just like give you just certain hint. Residence service apartment means guest room itself is not only about the sleeping. It should come with kitchen facility, and then sometimes dining area, and then sometimes washing machine, kind of the. So this kind of hotel is more for not only for one night, 2 night, but more for long-term stay. And then the resort and casino hotels and conference and convention hotels. I'm gonna just give you a bit more explanation why I'm talking about this kind of like types of hotel. I'll give you that things a bit later. So based on that, I try to categorize certain hotels, what kind of hotels are falling into what type of, like a hotel. So luxury. Luxury means actually luxury. So it's so much expensive and thing. But you think about it. When you sleep, let's just say in a bed, of course, like a quality of sofa, quality of mattress is really important. But by the time you just like a fall asleep, actually sleeping itself is all the same. And then once you just go into the hotel, what do you think like that makes big difference about the price in the hotel? It's all about service. So these days, actually, in an industry, our industry talks about, you heard about, the AI, just, that keeps being developed. And then sometimes, like one of the, like one of the industry, which is going to be replaced by AI is going to be telemarketer, kind of that. I think you've heard about that. But in our industry, we strongly believe probably service industry is really, really hard to replace AI with because this is kind of like a human touch. So for example, like Park Hyatt, Conrad, Four Seasons, and a Signia Lotte, I just put this hotel under luxury. Luxury means, in a simple way, very expensive. very expensive. You have to pay maybe 400-500 US dollar as a minimum for staying only one night. What makes different? It's all about service. So when I just started working in hotel industry, I was very stressed with all the people because like it's a service. So sometimes customers are really demanding. So, but I was thinking like I might not say no to customers. So, but sometimes the customers are really demanding. So I was very stressed. Why they are like that? Why they're not treating me as the way they want to be treated? But that time my big boss was really, really, like a smart person. That my big boss actually gave me a really great advice. Joanne, you don't need to be stressed. This is you working. When it comes to delivering service, you have to deliver service from the bottom of your heart, but you have to you have to actually detach yourself from what you are doing. So what that means like, because let's just say each and every one of you might be a good person, but by the time you become a customer, basically I believe all the customers are demanding. Probably, like you think about it, probably a lot of you are doing some part-timer. I'm sure about that. Even I've done that. For example, like if you go to a certain restaurant as a, let's say if you are working, for example, if you are working in a restaurant as a, like a servant, like a waiter and waitress, then you have to deliver the service, right? Then probably you have to deliver the service and your customer is demanding, keep on asking you, do this and do that, and be nice, be polite, be gentle, just giving you order, right? So of course, sometimes you probably stressed, but let's just think about it slightly the other way around. You go to the restaurant not as a, like a worker, but as a client. You become a client and then you go to the restaurant and then you think about it. How many times you trying to take care of the waiter and waitress as the way you want to be treated? Probably, frankly speaking, including myself, I don't think not that many of us are thinking seriously about the attitude, about the way we are treating the waiter and waitress. What I'm trying to say is like, as I told you, Park Conrad Forces, especially hotel, is very expensive as a just one night accommodation. So my big boss that time said, the moment that person might be a good person, but the moment a customer enter the hotel lobby with opening the hotel gate, that person would all of a sudden becomes demanding because they pay a lot of money. So they have right to be demanding. They have right to receive service. So Joanne, you don't need to be stressed about the way they ask you what they want. So that was really, how can I say, that was really important moment for me to change my attitude and my mindset towards the customer. Instead of complaining, why that person is so complaining, why that person is so demanding. After that day, I changed my mindset completely. I tried to be very rational instead of being emotional. Oh, that person paid the money for the service they are supposed to be getting. So that person is right. So I don't need to be stressed. I just need to deliver the service what they are supposed to be getting. I think that is, like one of the secret I could be surviving until today by completing 20 years career. Honestly, working in the service industry, as you can imagine, it's not easy because it may be better easy to sell certain physical product, but service industry is something you have to sell, which is not really tangible, something you cannot really see it. So that's what I really want to highlight. And the boutique hotel is also kind of a luxury, but more compact. W Hotel, Rise Hotel, and then L7 Myeongdong. These kind of hotels we say boutique. Boutique is on the top of luxury. Boutique is more, how can I say, delivering free concept. it's more funky. These days, W Hotel, Rise Hotel. I don't know, Rise Hotel is in Hongdae. How many of you been to Rise? But Rise is kind of like giving you a bit of a different hotel environment. So boutique is luxury, but it's a bit of a compact style and then delivering a bit of, like unique concept. So this is kind of like a new concept in this day in hotel industry. And then full service means, as it says, full service means like a hotel gives you all the services that they're supposed to give, like not only accommodation, F&B, like a restaurant, in the meeting, conference, and the wedding facilities, swimming pool, and then fitness, gym, and the spa. So whatever you can imagine, you can earn from the hotels, they can just deliver all the services. This is what we call full service. In economy, again, it's very easy. Economy means like budget hotel. In other words, it's purely focusing on accommodation. You think about it, hotel itself is like a really actually really not widely, how can I say, widely engaged with, like so many types of hotel. But there is hotel, I mean, all the hotels are with accommodation, but none of the hotels are without accommodation. Let's just say, even if there's no swimming pool, no conference hall, no restaurant, as long as there is guest rooms, you can call it hotel. But there's only restaurant, there's only swimming pool, there's only conference hall. You never ever gonna say hotel. There's only conference, you can say just conference center. There's only restaurant, you just call it restaurant. There's only swimming pool and fitness, then you can just say sports center. You never say hotel. But hotel is basically accommodation. So economy hotel and budget hotel is basically purely focusing on and then paying attention to accommodation. So when you go to especially Myeongdong area, there are a lot of, like a budget hotel, economy to kind of Ibis, Holiday Inn, and Shilla Stay. Extended is like what I said a little while ago, more for long-term stay, like residence and like a Fraser Place, Oakwood, and Orakai with dining area and kitchen facility where you can stay a bit longer than 1 night or 2 nights. And then resort, let me talk about the motel a bit later. And then resort is also, like you are very, used to it, accustomed to hear about that. Resort is like not only about accommodation, but resort is more for a leisure. They are just paying more attention to leisure facilities. Let's just say in Seoul, in Namsan, there is a banyan tree. Banyan tree is also, located in the center of Seoul. But when you go to banyan tree, they are more focused on leisure facility. For example, like you are here in Seoul for business trip, you cannot stay in banyan tree because it's really inconvenient when it comes to public transportation because you are here to do working, but like accommodation itself is like on the top of like at the mountain, and then there's not like enough public transportation, then it's not really good enough for business hotel. But when you try to choose a certain hotel for your leisure, for your holiday, actually public transportation is not important at all. So you can just stay in hotel 1 night, 2 night, 3 night. You can just stay. You can spend whole night by eating, sleeping, or just bedding by beach or swimming or just working out. So there are a lot of things for your holiday. So those kind of things we call resort. And then representatively, we could like hotels in Las Vegas, beach hotels, and Disneyland, Universal Studio, and then hotels in resort in an island. And then usually kind of like honeymoon, right? Honeymooners, when they just choose the hotel, usually choose resort because they just want to be choosing some kind of like a private area, right? Usually they try to go to island area, island resort, because it's enough for 12 of them to be together without anyone's disturbance. So that's actually resort. And then lastly, about the motel. I'm sure, this is really, like the common thing, motel. In Korea also motel, but some of you probably know about this motel, but motel, the hotel actually originated from, like the United States, this US. As you know, America, US is a really huge country compared to Korea. Actually cannot be even compared. So for example, like when you have a chance to travel in the States, in order to travel to second city, another city, it takes maybe minimum 6 to 8 hours. Sometimes, let's say you want to travel from San Francisco all the way to the Washington state, probably it takes maybe more than 10 hours, almost 2 days by driving. So in a state, by the motorway, there are a lot of hotels only for actually accommodation. Probably you can just you often see that kind of hotels even from movies. Let's just say hotels by the highway or by the motorway. There are a lot of hotels. So those kind of hotels, you are not really doing anything else. You just keep on driving, you do, and then like because you just need a simple accommodation to sleep over. Then you just like pull over, stop your car, and then sleep over, and then having breakfast, and then moving out again. So that's kind of hotel. So I think that concept itself is still working in Korea because usually motel in Korea is also by the road, by the maybe not really highway, but usually by the motorcycle, but bit of a hidden area. So motel itself these days, like in Korea, sometimes you don't really just take it in a positive, like meaning, but motel itself is also a part of hotel. So hotel by the motorway, you better just get understand in that way. So as I told you, motel is also kind of like economy hotel, budget hotel, more for economy and the limited services, motel plus hotel. Right. So these are in a large, like a meaning. So types of hotel I just would like to cover. So as I told you, I've been working in industry, in hotel, in sales and marketing. Actually, I never worked in other departments. Sometimes when you start hotel industry, even like a lot of my colleagues started from front office as a front office staff. Sometimes they started working in a restaurant. And after that, they transfer the department from food and beverage or front office to sales department. While they're working, they just try to find out sales department, sales and marketing department looks more attractive. Then they try to transfer. But my case is, like a bit different because from the day one, I started working in sales and marketing. So for the past 20 years, maybe in a good way, but sometimes I don't know whether that is all good thing. But I never actually experienced other department like F&B or front office. I only worked in sales marketing, especially sales department. But until today, I didn't know because now this is a webinar, virtual training, so I just have to keep talking. So I cannot just like hear your opinion or your answer. But frankly speaking, I'm not sure how many of you understand what I'm selling because I said I'm doing sales, right? Until today, a lot of my friends asking me, so what are you selling? Then I answer back, I'm selling guest rooms. Then my friends get confused. How can you sell guest rooms, right? If I, for example, like in case I have to sell a bottle of water, maybe I can just bring the bottle of water on the street. Sometimes maybe, like even if, for example, like there is a person who doesn't really need a bottle of water right now, but maybe case by cases, I can just beg, can you just buy this one bottle of water for me? Because, like I need to achieve my goal for the month. In case you buy this bottle of water for me today, I can just meet my goal. Maybe I can beg. But when it comes to hotel sales, like guest room sales, that's not the way I can do. Guest room is something you never ever be able to buy it unless you need it, right? You don't need a guest room. How can you buy it from me? So it's very tricky, right? So guest room sales is a lot more, how can I say, B2B. So sometimes my friends ask me, oh, you are selling guest room. So means in case I would like to make a booking for myself, can I contact you? Then you know what I'm going to say? Excuse me? You can just book your rooms through the online, like booking.com, Agoda, or Yogiyote. I'm never gonna deal with a person like you. So I just cut down the conversation because in a hotel, sales and market is more for B2B, not really B2C. Oh, excluding wedding. Wedding sales is totally B2C, but other than wedding, it's more for B2B. So we are dealing with the corporate accounts and then corporate business is kind of the so this is actually really in-depth like explanation. I cannot cover all that kind of things what I'm exactly doing in terms of sales because but I want to just tell you one thing. In any case you are interested in working in hotel industry like a sales department, you just get think about it because as you imagine I I have, like, I don't know, it's really few hundred times of, like an interview experience. Of course, I need to hire, the staff in my team. So seriously, there are a lot of, like newbies, a lot of people who trying to get interview with me in order to be working in hotel sales department. They only think about something really, how can I say, fancy stuffs. Hotel is really luxury. Once you just walk into the lobby, right? Lobby is great. When you just look at kind of a wedding and conference, wow, it's meeting, conference, exhibition in a hotel looks really gorgeous and luxury. So a lot of students, a lot of like people who trying to be um, working in hotel industry, they just think about that kind of luxury. But don't get me wrong, not only about hotel industry, even if hotel, I mean, not only hotel, but whichever industry you're gonna just work, guys, seriously, in a real industry itself is gonna be a lot more different. Because so that's why whichever industry you're gonna work later on, you really just think about it. Bottom line is going to be quite challenging in order for you to get what you really, really, really want. But at the end, right? At the end, if you think, oh, this industry might be really good for me, then at the end, you're right. What I'm trying to say is like, I'm not really good at singing and dancing, but here I can see a lot of foreign students as well, but I don't know whether you know JIP, Park Jin-young. Korean students must know about, like Korean JIP thing. So sometimes, I really, how can I say, fancy idol, singer, dancer, because you know why? I was thinking like, that kind of people, they really do what they like based on their qualification because they like singing. That's why they become singer. They like dancing. That's why they become a dancer, right? It's not kind of like I like hotel. That's why I just become hoteler. It's not like that. It's my job. But dancer and singer to me is kind of like a very fortunate person. Based on their qualification, they become kind of like holding a job as their sorry, they holding like what they want as their job. But you think about it, it's not easy for them to be a singer and dancer. From the bottom line, in order to be a singer and dancer, to be a successful singer and dancer, you know what I'm saying? They also even have to spend at least a few years, sometimes 10 years, they have to sacrifice. They have to work harder. They have to spend a lot of time and efforts to become like someone who they want to be. So even if like someone with like aptitude and the qualification have to spend a lot of time to become like someone who they want to be. So you think about it, how about like in a like a realistic industry as a job is a job, it's not your life. But in order to be like how can I say, in order for you to get like a job you want, If you have a certain industry you want to be, I think you're right. As long as you just ready to spend certain time and they're ready to spend certain effort to just accumulate your experience, your quality, then at the end you will definitely earn what you want it to be from that industry. But don't forget, it takes time. So again, the same thing, because now I'm just giving you experience as a hotelier, as if someone who's really successful. But I told you I've been here 20 years, and then don't forget I also started from the bottom line. So it wasn't easy, but I'm very happy because that today I'm here just face you, and then I can just happily and proudly share what I've learned and what I feel from the industry. So anyways, back to the point, hotel department, because as I told you, anyway, I'm from the hotel industry. I want to just cover briefly about what departments in a hotel industry. So as you know, first thing you think about from the hotel industry is probably rooms, front office, and housekeeping. And then food and beverage, like a restaurant and bars and kitchen, event service, banquet service, like event. It's very easy, right? And then sales and marketing, which I'm working in. Sales and marketing is also, including room sales, event sales, wedding sales, marketing, and PR. Yeah, kind of there. And then revenue. Revenue is really tricky. I cannot really just go deeper. So this is really, in a way, has nothing to do with the hotel industry. Revenue itself is like kind of uh, each and every company have to be really just involved in. So revenue department, yielding best profit for both rooms and F&B. And then there are department finance and engineering, security, human resources. Probably you haven't thought about that this kind of like a department. Hotel is also company. There are departments. So we used to say you usually think about the front office, and then I'm talking about the back office. So once you think about like a certain department from hotel, usually you think about the front department first, like front office, restaurants, kind of that. But even in a hotel, there are a lot of departments at the back office, like other companies, finance, engineering, security, and human resources. For example, like there is cases, I have a colleague who just joined the hotel as a sales and marketing employee, but after a few years, she requested to be transferred to human resources. That's also part of like a cases. So there are a lot of ways you can just like think about your career. But as of today, right now, as I told you, none of us, including me, can make my career with one trier. That's impossible. So as I told you, as long as like today's session gives you a little bit more information about what is in this world, as I told you, I'm very happy for it. And then at the end, in a hotel, who is the big boss? General manager. So I don't know. Is there anyone like who wants to be a general manager in the future? So let me know. And then hotel manager. So these are the actually hotel department. But again, I'm not talking about, I'm not gonna really just, cover all the department. But as I told you, I'm from sales and marketing, so I want to just cover one really fundamental key points about the sales and marketing since I'm from that department. So room sales, event sales, wedding sales, marketing communication, digital marketing. Marketing communication is PR is these days a lot more Instagram and Facebook and kind of things. And then probably you just gonna happen to see that kind of hotel marketing through the Instagram, Facebook for sure. And digital marketing is a lot more portal like Naver and Google and things like that. So room sales, as I told you, I'm how can I say, bit of professional for room and event sales. So this is, how can I say, I pay quite a lot of attention. This page is, and then even if this is something really, professional pages, but I try my best for every one of you here to easily understand. Do you remember when I just talked about, type of hotel? You have to think about, like a target market. I don't know whether you just remember. So there are a lot of hotels in this world. As I told you, I don't know how many of you at the end is going to be working in hotel industry as my colleague in this industry. There are a lot of hotels, but you cannot do the same way of marketing, PR, and sales, all subject to what is your hotel targeting for. So the best thing is like you have to find out who is your right customer and then what is right service you have to deliver to that right customer. Sounds complicated, but it's very, very easy. So you have to find out the right customer, right service. So usually when I have this session to students offline, I'm just having kind of like a back and forth and like mutual communication. But you try to answer me. It doesn't need to be the answer like online, but I want to just give you a few questions here. So how can you find out target marketing to find out right customer, right service? What makes difference when it comes to hotel business by this right customer, right service? First, geographic. Geographic means location. You think about it, hotel in Seoul and Tokyo and London and New York, and the hotels in island like Maldives, Guam, Saipan, Cancun. Do you think it's going to be same? No. Do you think the same type of customers? No, right. So yes, there is leisure guest, but then like a lot of business hotel. But Maldives and Cancun, Guam and Saipan, I don't think there are business travelers, right? Different. So geographic, demographic is population. Let's say so full of population, right? But let's say Maldives. Do you think island? Do you think a lot of population? Different population. There are different number of people you can target. This is also very important how you define your business style. So what is related with this about hotel industry? First, length of stay. For example, as I told you, hotels in Seoul, uh, you can stay even one night, maybe 2 nights, right? Tokyo, New York, London, you can even stay one night and 2 nights. Or you can stay one night here, one night there, one night here. You can just even move around within one city. But you think about it when you go to Guam, Maldives, Cancun, kind of like island resort. Are you going to be planning to stay there only for one night? No, right? And booking window. Booking window is actually kind of like a professional terminology. Booking window means how early you start planning to make hotel booking. So the same thing, Seoul and like a metropolitan city like New York, Tokyo, Seoul, maybe subject to the cases, yes, you can just start planning like making hotel booking a few months ago, but you can even just start planning like making hotel booking even a few weeks ago. But you think about it, for example, one day you get married, you have to just plan your honeymoon in a Maldives. Are you gonna just plan your honeymoon resort 1 week, 2 weeks before? Absolutely not. Maybe 1 year, even 1 year ago, sometimes 6 months, 8 months, at least a few months ago, right? That is also different point how hotel resales marketing try to find out our tactics of sales marketing. Days of week. This means Sunday through Saturday. So same thing. If your hotel, my hotel is like very much focused on businessmen, of course, my hotel is doing a lot better during the weekday from Monday to Friday. But you think about it like hotels in Jeju. You know what I'm saying, right? Jeju. Hotels in Jeju. Which day of the week hotels in Jeju are doing busier? Weekday or weekend? Even Gyeongju and Jeju hotels, like these kind of cities, they are a lot busier during the weekend. So that's what we say, days of week. So subject to days of week business pattern, we also define our business tactic. Lastly, cancellation. again, the same thing. It's all related. As I told you, right? Population, soul. If there is any one of you who try to make a booking in a hotel in a city, you know what I'm saying. There is cancellation policy, usually 48 hours, sometimes 72 hours, sometimes even 24 hours, which means as long as you can cancel your room 48 hours, 2 days prior to your arrival, there's no penalty. Wow, very generous, right? You know why hotel can do that? Hotel is confident to replace your canceled room with another walking guest. Because there are a lot of people, for example, hotels in Gangnam area. We say walking guest means like on the day without booking, people just walk into the hotel to stay. So those kind of guests, we say walking guests. There are a lot of guests. So city hotels are very confident. Even if you cancel 2 days and 3 days, there are still guests who book rooms one day before, 2 days before. So cancellation policy in a city is very generous. But when you just think about, like island resort, like what I mentioned, like a Cancun, Maldives, Seychelles, this kind of hotel, no way. Cancellation policy is a lot more stricter because let's say in Maldives, in an island, you cancel your room 2 days before. Do you think that resort can replace that canceled rooms with another new bookings? No, possibility is really chances are really, really low, right? So you can imagine, right? I'm sure this actually like quite easy to understand. So these all like terms are related. So based on this one, hotels once you just like start a hotel, let's just say opening the hotel, you just try to form the new sales or marketing team. The first thing you have to do is try to find out your customer, whether your customer is businessman or a young generation, old generation, or for leisure holiday. Then subject to your customer, service becomes different. Businessmen, they don't have time. They're running short of time. Businessmen, for them, instead of, like happy smiling, just friendliness, that's basic. They need chop, 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 fast, rapid service. But island resort, like, like a leisure resort, they are more trying to, how can I say, putting more value on staff's friendliness and happy smile. Even if it takes time, even if they can wait for a bit of a longer time, sometimes leisure guests do not mind. They can wait because it's their holiday. As long as they can have a genius service, happy smile, friendly staff, they're happy. The businessmen, a bit different. So subject to that kind of a lot of factors, we hotels define our business tactic. So hopefully you can understand. As I told you, there are tons of thousands and tons of hotels in this world. So subject to hotels, you can just imagine. So for example, like I worked at Dubai. That time I worked in business hotels in Rajasthan. After that, I moved to Singapore and Malaysia. That time I worked for resorts, more for leisure guests. And then I moved back to Korea, and then just short time, I worked in Jeju Island, and then I moved to Namsan in Korean Hyatt Seoul, almost 5 years. So Korean Hyatt Seoul, as I told you, full service, not only for businessmen, but also conference and things. So I think that's that also things. So even if you are in the same industry, not only about the one thing you can learn. So even if in the same industry, depending on what you're exactly doing, there are diversified, like job scopes you can just learn. So I just want you to remember, there are so many hotels in this world, but not all the hotels are having same kind of like a business, like a strategy, and not all the hotels are just targeting the same customer and same service. As long as you just learn that point, I think that's just good enough for that. Yeah. right positioning. So this one in a hotel, this is actually real term we are using in this, like a hotel industry. So we are saying right positioning. Even today, this right positioning, this word is really, really key point when we have a meeting with, like a lot of stakeholders. So yeah, right positioning. Yeah. And then this one, well, is how can I say this one actually I just added up based on like my last session with the in-house students. So I don't know how many of you are, as I told you, like thinking about, doesn't need to be very serious, but I don't know how many of you are thinking about working in like hotel industry. But let me just talk about that. Do you remember how I started very at the beginning today? This is actually about external internal challenge maybe. So hotel industry, hotel sales is tourism industry again. It's all about service industry. So you have to deliver not about the physical products. You have to deliver service. So back to the point, as I told you, right? All the customers are demanding. All the customers are very tricky because they pay the money for something they cannot touch. Service industry kind of like customers pay the money for their experience, not for something they can use, right? Even travel agency, customers pay for their experience, right? Travel. Hotel, the same thing. They pay the money for their accommodation and service. After one night, there's nothing they can take it away from the hotel, right? So if you just asking me about it, what is your biggest challenge? Back to the point, very at the beginning, when I started as a sales, I was very stressed because I was really attaching myself emotionally to the customers. Why they're very demanding. But now I think I'm kind of in a stage to overcome that external, that actually threatening, that challenges because I'm trying to detach myself. Customer is customer. Trying to deliver professional service. Customer has a right to demand because they pay the money, right? Internal challenge, I think this is what I can tell you about external challenges. So in case you are interested in to work in service industry, so you will have to think about it. Yeah. And then internal challenge. Internal challenge is, kind of very funny thing. Because as I told you, right, we have to deliver happy smiling, happy energy to the customers, right? But when I come back to the office, all my colleagues, sometimes we are very, very stressed, right? So internally, there is a word, also what I learned from my ex-boss. In a hotel, we also try to deliver internal service. The reason is very simple. For example, like you are working in a hotel industry, you have to face your customers, tricky, picky, demanding customer. But we are all human beings, right? You are not in good mood. You are very stressed out. How can you deliver happy smiling to your customers each and every moment, right? So in a hotel industry, there is work. You also take care of your internal guest. Internal guest means your colleague. You have to make your colleague happy. Then your colleague goes back to your customer, and then your colleague can deliver happy service. Sounds very easy, sounds very, like a ideal, right? But it's not easy because internally you also have to take care of your colleague. The same thing, you just take care of your colleague as the way you want to be taken care by your colleague. In a way, you might think, wow, working in service industry is really challenging. But in another way, that's what I like most about this industry. Because, these days, a lot of people talking about the MBTI, right? I'm 100% F. I'm very emotional. I'm very full of feeling. So that's why maybe, that I'm in this industry. So even if these are challenges, but I'm very happy to always pay attention about my emotion as well as others' emotion. The same thing, it's very simple. I take care of others, but not only, like I'm taking care of others. I also want others to take care of me. It's kind of a mutual taking care of. So that's actually what I like most about, like working in this industry. And then, yeah, so Mm, yeah, that's actually external internal challenge. Maybe I can just share about that but lastly, I want to say this is not only about hotel industry. As I just keep on highlighting, even if I'm just in from the hotel industry, again, hotel industry is a part of the tourism industry. Tourism industry is part of the service industry. So I'm sure these are all related to each other like that. So uh, again, in any case, like you have ever just paid attention to work in this kind of industry, as long as you just get some kind of like unknown information from me today, I'll be very, very happy. Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is actually what I prepared for today. And then I'm sure I've got another 10 minutes, Mr. Dr. Brannon. So maybe can I just ask, if there's any kind of question from the students today?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, there's several questions.
Mhm.
The first one was, uh, would you recommend any types of certifications or qualifications that would make them more desirable to get hired in the hotel industry?
Um, Once you just become, like a kind of equal qualification, probably subject to, the qualification you have, like a better and more than your colleague is gonna working. But in case you wanna just, like enter the industry, certificate itself is not really necessary. But what I want you to tell you is like uh, English. Sometimes, I feel very, like sad, but because we Koreans, because English is not our mother tongue, and then we are not using English as often as other, people. But you have to think about it. Hotel itself is somehow it's international customers. So whether you like it or not, like speaking English is kind of like something basic. So, but doesn't need to be really, really professional. The same thing. Even if I'm Korean, when I after once I just graduate from the colleges, when I entered society, even if I'm Korean, I couldn't understand professional Korean terminology. The
Mm.
same thing, right? So as long as you are confident about to communicate in English, don't be afraid to enter the industry. You can learn professional terminologies and professional terms which is used in a hotel industry. You will learn, but somehow you have to earn confidence about communicating English. I think that's a really, really basic thing in case you are thinking about, like entering the hospitality industry.
So just to reiterate, then I would think that English ability would be more important than some sort of extra qualification or certification.
Mm,
And
yeah, as a basic part, yeah. Mm.
then I would assume that people who are multilingual that speak a third language would be even more desirable for hotels, especially if they're overseas or
Oh yeah, of course. You like let's just say like let's hotels from Korea, even in our hotel, right? If you can speak
like
English,
Chinese or
Japanese,
Japanese.
Chinese, because we Korean, right? Somehow, as long as you, for example, there are staffs who speaks the three languages. Wow, very
Mhm.
popular, very famous. Seriously, everyone is like trying to hunt for that person to be their department.
Ah, yeah, no, I can imagine. So I would think that English would be kind of the standard. They have to have as their second language.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bunch more questions here. Um, yeah, so another person asks, are there any internship possibilities? So it's a two-part question. What's the best way to get hired into the hotel industry by a person who's just graduated? Is it through getting an internship and if it is so, what type of internship opportunities are there for the hotel industry?
There are a lot of ways you can enter the industry. So, of course, I'm not from human resources department, but even, like in Hyatt, there is internship program, like related with quite a number of, like university. But you can just check it out. Maybe, like here, Ina, you can maybe check it out with your maybe department. I
Mhm.
don't know, there must be. Yeah. And then you can just see the notice board for sure. If I'm not mistaken, there are a lot of hotels, especially having tourism class. There are a
Yep.
lot of opportunities. Sometimes hotels are also trying to find out officially. They're trying to find the internship students. Yeah, there are also like cases. So you can just also try to find out that kind of a notice board. You can just, these days you can just subscribe, right? Like a LinkedIn or whatever, you can just subscribe, that kind of thing. So even these days, hotels are trying to find an internship. So through the internship, you can just enter. But sometimes you are just thinking, but there's no internship program. You cannot just really hire. And then, frankly speaking, some students even told me, I'm not really confident to work in five-star hotel like a Hyatt, Conrad, because I can speak English, but my English is not really enough. So I'm afraid. Then I can just recommend you, as I told you, there are tons of hotels here.
Yep.
In case your age is 28, 29, then probably a bit of a different. But for example, your age is 22, 23, you're young enough. You can even just try yourself, maybe three-star hotel, four-star
Yep.
hotel, can. And then after that, 1 and 2 years later, when you just reach, like after two, you can just, submit your application to even five-star hotel. I've worked in 2 and 3 star. You think about it. There are students who just graduated and then they just studied overseas whatsoever, but they do not know anything about hotel industry. But you graduated, but you worked in even if a 2-star, 3-star, but you already tasted hotel experience 1 year, 2 years. Then if I'm an interviewer, as per my experience, I would hire you.
Yep.
This person at least understands what is hotel. So
Yep.
doesn't need to be too much, how can I say, too much, like brave to enter such a large and luxurious hotel right away, immediately. You do part-time, right? So as I told you, don't forget there are a lot of hotels in Seoul. Not only 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. There are tons of hotels, but basically all the hotels are just having the same concept. So as I told you, right, you probably do not know what is exactly hotels doing for. So try to taste it. Maybe after taste, you probably think, oh, I don't want to work in hotel industry. You might gonna think that. So, but again, there are a lot of ways you can think. First, you can just check with your school whether there is any like hotels which is networked. Second, you check with hotels whether they are looking for internship. Third, in case you cannot just enter the five-star hotel right away as per your experience, as per your age, as per your situation, try to look for a 3-star, even 4-star. I'm sure there are opportunity because hotel industry, tourism industry in Seoul is getting bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying, right, Dr. Brennan? Seoul is getting bigger. You know, K-pop, K-culture, K-things. Seriously, Korea itself is getting popular. Means tourism industry is getting bigger and bigger. Means hotel needs a lot more staffs like you people. So I'm sure you try to find out.
No, I think that's a really good tip because I think getting a job at any hotel for a year is going to make them a step up on anybody who's not ever worked at a hotel.
Exactly.
So I would take especially an entry level position,
Entry
learning.
level, yes.
Yep, entry level, get 1 year of experience, maybe two, and then jump from a whatever 1, 2, 3 star, jumping up to 4 or 5 stars. And what do you
Correct.
think is the biggest difference in Korea between a 4-star and a 5-star hotel? Is it the number of rooms, or is it even Gold Star or Silver Star in Korea is a bit
Uh,
different? So it's kind of
not,
confusing, I think, for most.
not only about Korea, but if you just ask me about the 4-star, 5-star, but not the difference between 4-star and 5-star. In case you are really just want to grow within hotel industry, not an entry level. Entry level, as Dr. Brennan said, just try whatever it is. But later on, once you have just certain confidence, try to look for a brand like Hyatt, Hilton, Marriott, and Accor, whatsoever. Doesn't matter. You know why? That gives you opportunity to move around.
Yep.
For example, as I told you, I'm currently Grand Hyatt Hotel Namsan, but I'm gonna move to Grand Hyatt Macau as a leader next
Mm.
month. So one of the
Well, that's
reason
like I didn't get to say, but congratulations on that. That's awesome.
yeah. So anyone who comes to Macau, try to look for Joanne from front office. So you never know. I'll come down to see you, and then you might say, "Oh, I'm a person like who just really, yeah, listen to your lecture through the webinar." So I might say hi to you. So that's the thing. So it doesn't really need to be 4-star, 5-star. Like for example, like there are 4-star hotel under Marriott. At the moment, there's no 4-star hotel in Hyatt in Korea, but
Right.
even Hilton, Conrad 5-star, but like the
Banyan tree
Hilton, no,
or
not
Hilton?
Banyan Tree, DoubleTree. DoubleTree by
Ah,
Hilton also. DoubleTree by Hilton is when it comes to business, we are saying it's very suffering, it's very challenging. But again, it's a part of Hilton. So it's just kind of transferring. So that's
and
the
that must
big
be
challenge.
easier because like Hilton in America, there's so many different
Yeah,
brands under the Hilton kind of umbrella. So it's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
easier to get hired within the different Hilton brand, like
yeah,
getting hired at one of their business hotels, then
yeah,
moving up more to the leisure or
yeah.
luxury hotels.
So the same
Just
thing. Yeah. For example,
we have about
Starbucks.
5 minutes
Yeah,
left, so I want
yeah,
to. There's
yeah.
like four more questions. I just want to. I'll say them
Okay.
to you, and then you can just kind of say as you like.
Yeah, yeah.
One was more specific because you mentioned about AI, and they say, but do you think that AI will be integrated into hotels, and how? Probably more back of the house, I would assume, or marketing or that kind of
Mm.
stuff. Um, you also mentioned about MBTI. So maybe what is the best for MBTI? Because
Oh,
Joanne, this is funny.
that's very difficult.
Because you said you're an F, right? Feeling instead of the other one's T, right? My wife said, Takia, you are T with a capital T. So, but then I said, well, what are you? And my wife said, oh, I'm a T and your son's a T, so we're the T family. But is there an MBTI that better
Uh,
fits for the hotel, or does it not matter? And then another one was uh, which hotel did you first work at, and what is your first degree that you got hired, or was it a language degree? Or can you talk about which hotel in Hongdae is best, like a Mercure Hotel or Rise Hotel? They
uh-huh.
said which one's most famous in that area. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with those hotels, but. Oh, and one
Okay.
last one. I have a question. How did you overcome COVID-19 because they didn't allow face-to-face meetings? And that's a
Uh,
whole, I'm sure you can talk for a long time about that, but those are the questions that were remaining.
okay. So first the thing about the MBTI has nothing to do with MBTI at all, guys. It's serious. Okay. For example, you think about it, it's simple. What if, like the hotel industry, for example, in my department, everyone is F.
Really?
I mean, what if
Oh, what if?
everyone
Oh, okay.
everyone is F? It's killing. That's a disaster.
Too sensitive department.
Exactly. But like the other way around, what if everyone is T, capital
They're
T?
super
That's
analytical and
that's
nobody.
another disaster.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So MBTI, I know these days, including me, everyone is talking a lot about the MBTI, but it's all kind of a combination. It should be like harmonized with like kind of a give and take. So cannot say which one is better, but subject to situation. Sometimes a certain like a capital can be working a bit better, but
Yep.
again, no MBTI can be the best in any situation.
So what you're saying, it takes all kinds to basically have a harmonious like working environment. So it doesn't matter which your MBTI. Then what about AI and how will that go? And also quickly, can you say about like what was the first hotel you worked at? A little bit more about that.
Okay, first hotel I worked in Dubai was Dusit. Dusit is, I don't know whether some knows or some might not know. Dusit is an international Thai chain.
Yep.
So when I was in Dubai, there was a Thai chain called Dusit Hotel. So I started as a banking sales executive, like a bottom line. So I started, and then let me just like answer it together about the qualification. I didn't have any. So sometimes, right, working in overseas doesn't really require you certification. Maybe Korea is sometimes more complicated. They're trying to like get you TOEIC and the TOEFL sometimes, but it's overseas. Like speaking English is really basic component, so they don't really just ask you. The only thing is, I was a bit confident about my English skill, but actually, in reality, I was not because I graduated from the school in Korea because I never studied overseas.
Right.
I'm 100% pure Korean, but I was a really good student. I was a good getting good English score. But when I went to Dubai, I only just tried to get job with my confidence. It was really, really challenging, but I never gave up because I believe I'm Korean. I can speak Korean as a mother tongue. So why should I speak English as a native, like a speaker? So I'm good enough.
Yep.
So in a way, maybe guys, I'm sorry because I love myself too much, and then I never allow other judge me. I only judge
Mhm.
myself.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
good for
yeah, yeah.
confidence. That
So
means that don't let other people's expectations or their thoughts define you. Sure.
exactly, no one can be perfect from the beginning, but like, a lot of people judge you from the beginning as your entry level. So what's the point? Because now you are seeing me because as a person who's been in industry for 20 years, so you can see me, wow, envious, wow, she's great. But guys, I was not like that. Serious.
Mm,
No one can be perfect from the beginning. But again, don't be intimidated by the person who judges you when you are not ready. You only know yourself from your heart. You know what you want from your heart, right? But don't get hurt by others' comment when you're not ready. Seriously, that's how I survived. And then, yeah, I just started from the beginning. After that, I moved to Singapore and Malaysia. But that hotel, you never heard about that. It's a really luxury hotel. Their own, and the hotel itself is, like each and every hotel has different name. But how can I say? It's owned by Malaysian really chaebol. Yeah,
ah,
they have about the 50 resort around the world. So, but that time I again think I learned a lot of experience about inbound, outbound, the wholesale industry and travel agency. Again, even if at that time I was not, part of the big chain, but I could learn a lot of experience. And then after
mm,
that, I came back to Korea. Again, interesting story is when I tried to enter Hyatt, Hyatt would judge me. Hey, by the way, Hyatt is really, Hyatt, Hilton, Marriott, they are very snobbish. They're very, like, how can I say, they're very confident. We are
yep.
Hyatt. We are
Mm,
Marriott. So I said, like, there's a, because you never worked at Hyatt and Hilton kind of there, but do you think you can just work with this kind of, so you know what I said? Excuse me, you just look at my career, how many kind of like sales experience I have, inbound, outbound, Dubai, Singapore, Southeast Asia, and the corporate leisure conference. I don't think not that many salesperson has this kind of like huge experience.
mm.
So I got it. And then, yeah, I approved myself, serious. And then I got it. Maybe I might sound very, like rude. I might sound, really it's too much, like a confident. But I want to say that because I want to be confident because, what I just achieved is based on my experience and what I actually try to spend my time to myself. So I can say that that's the thing. And then I just wrote down maybe two-star, three-star hotel, lower service quality can be replaced by AI. As I told you,
Ah,
right? Hotel industry, I told you. Why hotel, luxury hotel, five-star hotel is expensive? I told you. The people have to pay for service, not for accommodation. But
yep.
service cannot be replaced by AI. But maybe two-star, the same thing, restaurant, Michelin restaurant. Do you
Yep. They're
ever
not going to have
see
a kiosk where you put your own order in.
exactly. Have you ever
Right.
seen keypad and then like automatic, like calculation and then like robots serving in Michelin restaurant?
No.
No, not at all. Same thing. Hotel industry. As long as you work in kind of five-star hotel luxury, this is not what I'm saying. This is what we are saying. Hotel industry service can never be replaced by AR. But maybe two-star, even motel, guys, these days, Win Motel.
Hmm.
Right? There are a lot of motels without human beings touch, right? You go
Yep.
into motel, you just like I don't know, so yeah,
But
you
for
just pay
one-star
for
hotels, some people prefer that, I think. So maybe so.
exactly, exactly. But this is not only about hotel industry, it all the industry.
Yep.
As long as human touch is required and then better quantity, quality of services required, AI cannot be actually overtaking.
All right, thank you. Thank you everybody for attending. Could everybody please turn on their video? I want to take a screenshot. I need to take two screenshots. If you could, if you look on your the little thing, you can do like a little symbol, or either you can wave or you can do a what do you call it? Like a whatever. So everybody, I'm going to take your screenshot here. So make sure you're on thumbs up. One, let me just save that. Hold on. And then one more, I got to switch to the other people. There's quite a few people with the in the second screen that don't have their video on yet. Could you please turn it on? Okay, ready? One, two, and three. Thank you. Joanne, I'll send you the screenshots and also the URL because I will upload this. Let me go back to the first screen. I'll Oh, there you are. I'll make sure that I upload it. It'll be by Monday. I'll send you the URL, screenshots, etc. So everybody, thank you very much. Give Joanne a little bit of
Thank you so much,
applause and a
guys.
wave.
Really, thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I wish you good
Bye.
luck on your next adventure in Macau. That's going to be awesome. So everybody, goodbye. Take it easy. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, go.